Hello guys, today I will be showing you how to make this design on Rhino using Grasshopper, how to bake this pattern by changing parameters of the design by a single units, and this is the Grasshopper file. Okay, so let's start with the design. So first thing you will require is a square grid. So we made a square grid. So now, as you can see here, our grid is visible. The next thing you have to do is make a unit slider for the plane. So I'm going to make it in the X direction, so I can slide the plane on the X direction. So as you can see, if I put any number like 1, or maybe I'll put 30, so it slides by 30 division, as you can see in this, but right now I want to keep it at 0. This sliding is used to bake your design on different grids, like at unit 1, unit 2 and 3. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to make is the size. I don't want to make really big grids. 5 is okay for me, so I connected to 5, and as you can see here, it took 5 cells to make this one single big cell. And then the number of grids I require, I'll put 30 this time, and yeah. So 30 grids are created on the x-axis. Same way, another 30 grids on the y-axis. So this is a 30 by 30 grid plane. Once you make this grid, the next thing you can do is explode this grid into different curves. So I put this, and as you can see, all the lines are exploded into segments. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to list all this segment. So as you can see here, when I create a list, if I connect to it, I have selected the lowermost segment of every grid. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to flatten this data, because I don't want it to be for every grid the same curve value. I want it to be separate. So yeah, I flatten. So next thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to create extra item number 1, 2, 3. So if you select, so I have created 4 different indexes for the 4 different segments. So each time you select one, you select a particular segment. So I'll show you what do I mean by that. if I evaluate this curve, and I need a parameter, of course, like 0.7. You can see there's a point on the lowermost segment, and you have to reparameterize this. Okay, so as you can see, this point is moving only till here, till the first block. I want to make it move for the till the entire block. So what I do here is I click at the curve and I reparameterize it. So now I can move the point from 0 to 1 on the lowermost segment. So I'll keep this evaluation of curve aside. So we can use this point now to create a line maybe. So yeah. So same way, if I evaluate curves, I can make more different points. And I reparameterize the curve so that it starts from 0 to 1. You can see here. So the index 1 is for the lower segment, index I is for the lower segment, index 1 is for the vertical one, index 2 is for topmost horizontal, and index 3 is for the vertical left segment. So if you make this like 4 times, you can make 4 different points on this grid. Yeah, so this is what you can do. As you can see, I have a point on the top, and this is the point of the bottom grid. So here, as you can see, this point is for this grid and not this one. That's why you get confused why it is moving for this grid, but it is not for this, it's for the top grid. So yeah, 0.7, let us keep everything 0.7. Okay, so as you can see, these points have been created on this curve. So now the next thing what you can do here is you can try to make a line. To make a line, you can use the line command, this one, and start a point till the end. So you make this line. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to connect to this point. I will instead connect to this one. Okay, so yeah, I created a vertical point. Now what I'm going to do is, this is 0.7, I'm going to slide this till 0.3, so both of them are, this is like a vertical line for every grid. And then I'm going to evaluate this line the same way I did for the other segments, and I want to reparameterize this. Okay, so now as you can see, if I drop this, it goes down. So now I can make a point on this line anywhere, and I can adjust this point. So I'll keep it maybe at 3, okay, or 2.2. Now the next thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a centroid. How to do it is simply you select area, because the area has a centroid command. As you can see here, you got a centroid. Now I want to join this point to this point and make a line and do it here like this. Okay, so I'll make that line. Not this one. Here, this one. So yeah, I'm going to start from the centroid, and I want to end to this point. So I created this line. As you can see, there are a lot of lines created for this. You have to select craft so that it only makes a single line and not like infinite lines with all the centroids. Okay, so now I'm going to make another line which is going to start from this point and is going to end to this point. So what I have to do is I have to evaluate a curve, because I cannot move this point to here. I need to create a new point, so I will create a new point on this segment, which is this one, and parameter same like the last time. I'm gonna re-parameterize the curve. Now when I change it to 1, I created a point here, so the end point is here. So I made this curve. So now I don't want to show this line, so I'll hide it. Now what I'm going to do is make a line from this point to this point. From starting point to the end point. Yeah. So in the next step, what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide this line. So as you can see here, it got divided into number of points, but I want to keep a count of the points. So as you can see, it got divided 30 times, and when I do it like lesser, it becomes like 5 times. And next, what you can do here is you can make a line from all these points to this point. I'll show you how you can do that. You can use the start point, this one, and the end point from this. So you can see you created some lines, continuous lines. So if I increase, it increases the number of lines. So now the next thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to construct a plane, and I want to mirror this on the other side so that I make a pattern, mirror pattern of this on the other side. So for that I have to first make a construction plane. Okay, now I have to give the origin point, which will be the centroid. Yeah, this. And now next I need to give a x-axis, which will be the axis of the line, and y-axis will be the z unit. So now you can see I made a plane like this. Oh, I selected the wrong x-axis, that's why it's here you can see the plane is in a different angle. So I disconnect this, I check my line, yeah, this one. So this one will be the x-axis. Now you can see it's in line with the line. Now once I've created the plane, I want to mirror this entire geometry. Before that I want to select this and join this curves, join curves, so it acts as a one curve. So now it is a one curve, and then I make a mirror of this curve. I select this plane which I have made and all the curves. So as you can see, I have mirrored this pattern on the other side, and after mirroring it, you can see that you have this two designs. Now okay, so now I have to create a polar array, and I connect this geometry and this geometry together, and I have to select a plane. As you can see, it is scattered all around. It's really funny. Okay, so now I have to select the plane. The plane will be the centroid. Now you can see it is in this pattern. So you can make a pattern like this if you want, and I can actually adjust the count. So I have only 4 patterns like this. So now the next thing what I'm going to do is, this is the geometry. I actually don't want all of this. I just want to transform some parameters, and I just want to bake it in every unit so it looks different. So how I'm going to do is, I'm going to first of all change the number of X rows. I just only need 1 row because I'm going to change to different values, and I want to make a pattern which looks a bit different every time. And how I'm going to achieve that, I'm going to show you. I don't want to change the number of the polygon. I want it to be only 4. So the divide curves, I want it to start from 0 till 30, because I will be making 30 rows. So I will start at 0. So this is an important thing what I want. I will keep it aside. I'll keep it 1, and I'll actually hide everything, sorry, and just show this geometry. So as you can see, you can only see this geometry now, which I will be going to, this geometry which I'm going to bake in X direction 30 times. Right now it is 1. And what more I can change here is the position. So as you can see, if I make like this, it changes the design completely, which is cool. So when it is 0, the point is on the bottom, and when it is 0.1, this point along this line goes little bit upwards, and that is how this pattern is forming. Now as you can see, when I increase it at 0.9, this point is here, and it is making a line from here to here. So I just don't want to take it a lot of upwards. I'll keep it till 0.5. I would like to do very minor changes with this point, so I'll increase the decimal. So now I can do like very minute changes from 40. Okay, so this is an important parameter which I'll change for baking this design on the x-axis. The next parameter what I would like to have is this one, so that I can slide my curve, my set of curves for baking each time. So let's try this. When I put 5, it gets shifted on the x-axis by 5 units. So if I want to make 30 numbers, I have to shift maximum till 150 unit. $150. Okay, so now let's start it with 0, and yeah, I'm going to bake this curve now. So for baking this curve, I have to bring the geometry here and bake it. Then shift your array, increase the number of points on the line, and you can do a bit increase in the number slider for this point. And again I'm going to bake this. I'm going to shift it to 10. Sorry, we will start it again. So bake this, then move your slider, increase the point, shift the vertical point a bit. Now you select it, bake it again. Now you change. Now as you can see, it got shifted to the third column. So now you can see here I made a 30 by 30 grid of this design like this, which keeps on varying from each column, and I baked it continuously for 30 different times by changing the values, and I created a design like this. Okay, so as you can see, I will try to show you what I've done. You can take a screenshot of this if you want to understand. And then you get this as your result. Using